First story of the day is about our brother Jussie Smollett, who was an actor on Empire. I think most people, I'm sure some people watched Empire, but most of us, like I've never watched the show and I had no idea who he was before this. And he's getting charged with a felony. So according to CNN, Jussie's been charged with a felony. According to ABC7, his charge was for disorderly conduct for filing a false police report. So it's not looking good for him. Today also the camera footage came out of the two Nigerian guys. They were at some sort of store and there's video footage of it. They bought red hats, I guess to look like MAGA hats, and ski masks. So the boy has officially been busted. I mean, I've been holding off on this. You heard me talk about it quite often, but every time I talked about it, I'm not going to say it's fully solved or it's done until it's done. I try to be as accurate as possible. So I was like, it looks bad for this guy. It's looking worse. It's looking worse. It's looking worse. And it's officially game over, brother. You lied. And you're not the only one. We'll talk about it in a second. But first of all, how obvious is it that somebody's wearing a ski mask and a MAGA hat? Like they purposely wore a ski mask and then put a MAGA hat over it. The reason you wear a ski mask is so somebody doesn't know your identity. And you wouldn't wear a MAGA hat if you're trying to hide your identity, because that might lead people to your identity. Very low IQ. I'm just going to say, this guy's got to have an extremely low IQ. This is really low level stuff, man. It reminds me of my friend Manny. Shout out Manny if you're out there. I really like Manny, but he, we worked at CVS and he stole some Best Buy gift cards and he like scanned them. And then he was like, yo, I threw out the receipts. And I was like, bro, it's all digital. Like, it doesn't matter that you threw out the receipts. It's all, it's going to ring up a couple $100 short. Sure thing. The next day we come in, the regional manager from CVS is there and the police are there. I was like, bro, I'm not saying you should ever do a crime or be smooth about it, but it's like, I mean, first of all, don't steal, do a crime. Second of all, I would think, it's just not the move to be like, oh, I never thought to not buy it. Someone in my Instagram said, someone said, at least Amazon it. And I didn't think of that, but I was like, yeah, like, at least if you Amazon it, you probably won't have, like, you're on camera buying red hats that you're putting on over a ski mask, that you got a substance chemical poured on you, and you have a noose around your neck, and you don't take the noose off. You leave it on for 2 hours. You got the Subway sandwich in your hand. Dude, sloppiest, most low-level crime ever. I'm sure there's a bunch. I don't pay attention to the crime blotter, but holy sharks, man. This dude is not very bright, and I can confidently say that because, wow. Sorry, I'm just taking it all in now. I'm like talking to you like I'm just talking to myself. I'm just like, very low IQ, very low-level crime. Even more interesting about it, like I said, was the fact that, well, now he's charged with a felony. He was out and about with all the Democrats, Kamala Harris, and it's very fishy. Not a lot of people are talking about this, but I am. Anti-lynching bill. They passed an anti-lynching bill. And we're like, we got to do this because there's lynching. Look at Jussie Smollett. It's like, dude, people don't get lynched anymore. Like, it's not really a thing. And people commit crimes. People murder each other. I know maybe now that the Jussie Smollett situation happened, we can talk about crime in America. I know statistics and math can be racist according to these people, but they talk about police brutality all the time. It's really annoying. Not annoying. You could talk about police brutality. I'm fine. You could talk about police corruption. That's fine. Police can be corrupt. Absolutely. But if you really want to save black lives and you really care about black America, you would know that police violence and murder is extremely low. Like, I'm talking like less than 1% by a long shot. I can't remember, so I'm not going to claim it. It's either 0.1 or 0.01, whatever it is. It's not responsible for a lot of crime. But according to FBI statistics, over 50% of murders in America are committed by black America. And if you take the percentage that's men, because it's mostly men, it's not that many women, if any, it's 8%. And then if you do the actual, I believe, like age bracket, it's like 6%. So you have 6% or 8% or 12% of America committing half the murders. Okay, that's just statistics that I know people don't want to hear. That's fine. And then you have in Chicago, you have 530 murders, I believe it was last year. So you have, 1-year-olds getting shot, 2-year-olds getting shot, old people getting shot, young people getting shot. A majority of the victims are black, and it's committed by other people. It's like, can we talk about this stuff now since this dude lied and the media lies every single day? And they're like, oh my God, there's so much hate crime. We have to stage it ourselves to commit a hoax so we can pass a bill that probably has all this crazy wording in it that nobody really asked for. So it's like, it's just getting annoying. And I hope this is a window into the world of multiple things. First of all, a lot of celebrities and a lot of my friends and a lot of people that don't really pay attention to the news, they say, this is crazy. I can't believe he lied. This is the one that they got caught doing. And it was very, very sloppy, very sloppy. And I'm guessing if they push further into this, they'll find out he didn't just randomly do it. It seems like some sort of political setup, especially that he's hanging out with all those guys. But we'll find out. I don't know for sure. It just seems like it. Why else would he do that? Maybe he wanted attention, or it's not adding up. But anyway, this isn't the only media lie. The Covington kids are suing Washington Post for $250 million because they lied about the story. They said, oh my God, that white kid, they always have to have a racial angle to it. It's like, oh my God, the white people to the black people. But it's like, yes, hate crimes happen. White people commit crimes, but statistically, not according to the, FBI statistics, which is pretty much every crime and murder recorded in every state. It doesn't really add up like that. And I'm fine. I'm not pointing fingers, but it's like, at least if you're going to blame somebody, don't just flip statistics and literally lie. And that's what they do about everything. If it's a war in the Middle East, they'll say, look at this baby, look at this kid. Oh my God, we're hurting. We got to go to the Middle East. We got to go to Syria. We got to go, start a war in a place that's secular and actually treats Christians and all religions good. Then we go to war. And then you find out that the picture was actually a kid who didn't want America to go to war with them. He's like, dude, they took my kid and used it for propaganda for the opposite agenda. Same with all these border kid pictures. There's a human trafficking problem. There's a heroin problem. There's a fentanyl problem. There's an immigration problem that's been going on for decades, and every politician has at least mentioned it. And they use pictures of women, children, and stage hoaxes just like this all the time. Literally all the time. This is just the first time they got caught. So I hope it opens people's eyes to multiple things. One, maybe this country is really good if someone has to stage a hate crime in order to, get their point across, because there's no better place really to be as a gay, black, Jewish man like Jussie Smollett, or any race, any religion, any gender. There's no better place in the world to be than America. We're not perfect. We have a lot of flaws. I talk about them quite often, but if you're gay and transgender, you can own a TV show, you can own a business, you can own a $50 million makeup business, everybody loves you. Like, this is the greatest place to be. You go to Iran and Saudi Arabia and you're like, hey, I'm trans, I'm gay, like, can I own a TV show there? They're like, no, we're gonna murder you, or you're gonna have to shut up. But low-key, they probably are all sexually attracted to you. I read today that Uberfax said that Pakistan, albeit that they're very anti-gay, they're actually the #1 most searched porn result is gay porn. So they just pretend to hate gay people, but low-key a lot of them are gay. Fun little fact I read on Uberfax. But anyway, it's a good place to be. We do have problems, but a lot of us and a lot of the Trump resistance is multiple reasons. It's anti-regime change war. It's like basic common sense and freedom, low taxes, personal liberties, not victim mentality, self-accountability, self-awareness, loving yourself, loving your people, loving your country, as opposed to, being like, oh, the whole world's against me, even though I'm a multimillionaire on a show and I get to do anything and I'm hanging with Ellen and everyone loves me no matter what I do and I always make a scene. It's like, cool. Like, yeah, your life could be worse. We like people that enjoy themselves and appreciate this country. But a lot of the backlash is also blatant racism. And the reason I brought up the statistics is, one, it's something that a lot of people won't do. They're afraid of math and science and basic statistics and also narratives that aren't popular. But a lot of people in this country are white. It's a, majority white country, whether it's 60% or 70%, depending if you mix in Hispanic whites. I don't really care or know that much about it, but it's in that area. And people are always getting blamed, not just for the Jussie Smollett situation where they said it's MAGA people because they staged it, For a lot of stuff. I mean, for school, if you're white or you're Asian and you try to get into school, you have a harder time. And if you're black or you're Hispanic or Native American or what else, they rig it so it's easier for you. And you could say, you know, it's historical, it's better or worse. I'm not here to argue what the purpose is or if it's worth it, but, you know, a lot of people are tired of it. And then you have the media that says, oh my God, white people have so much privilege. But if white people have privilege, whatever it's called, systemically, like they say, then why is Elizabeth Warren not white? Why did she put down Native American? Why if you're mixed like me, where you're part Hispanic and part white, you always think, should I put down Hispanic? Because then I'll get, you know, extra privilege or extra. There's no systemic privilege for white people. All the systemic privilege, and everyone knows it. It's something that people don't want to say, because everyone's afraid to tell the truth. And I like black leaders who are blunt. I like white leaders who are blunt. I like Indian and Muslim leaders who are blunt, Christian leaders who are blunt. I don't like the sugar-coated. Like, I have more respect for someone I disagree with that just tells it like it is than somebody who's like, everything's racist and sexist and xenophobic and you need to bend over and give all your money to the government. It's like, let's not and say we did. Let's have free speech. Let's have the Second Amendment. Let's have all the amendments, pretty much. Let's, let's restore basic things that, although our country is flawed, makes our country great, which is mostly free speech, the right to bear arms, the right to a fair trial, which they're trying to get rid of now. Believe all men, believe all liberals, believe all gay people, believe all, it's black, it's white, it's this, it's that. It's like, what about, why don't we do it like this? Instead of saying, it's black, it's white, it's Muslim, it's Christian, why don't we say this? Is it right or is it wrong? If you have a set of morals, is it good or is it evil? You know, evil is staging a hate hoax to essentially start a race and political war. Good is not doing that. Good is helping your people, helping yourself. Good is trying to do something good in the world. So why can't we just go back to those? Content of character instead of skin color, good versus evil. And if we are to talk about skin color and statistics and stuff, keep it statistical and scientific, or, you know, make statements and try to back it up with evidence or logic or reason. Because I had an interview earlier, I had a debate with this kid named Nuance Bro, and he was asking me, he said, like, I was explaining that I liked a black leader that's very unpopular, but I found him very fun. And he said, wouldn't you care if someone said, I don't hate all white people, I only hate white devils? Like, wouldn't you be mad at that? And I was like, no, not even remotely. Like, if someone said, I don't hate all white people, I hate white devils, I would be like, I agree completely. Like, I don't hate all white people, but if they're literally white devils and they're bad white people, then yeah, I don't know if hate's the word, but like, that type of stuff doesn't bother me. People are like, dude, wouldn't you? No, because I want to get to the truth. I don't care about words and semantics and, oh my God, they said, like, what's the truth? Did he lie? Did he tell the truth? Believe all women? Let's not. Let's do what we've done for decades that's worked somewhat well, but I would argue it doesn't really work with politicians or the wealthy. They seem to get away with anything, but except for like Bill Cosby, he's like one of the only people who got charged. I'm not saying anything, but it's like true. You know, so many people have done crazy things, and he's the one celebrity I could think of that actually got charged for something. Anyway, it's like you're innocent until proven guilty. That's very standard in a free society, although it's skewed now. In other countries, you can't say certain things. You can't do certain things. You don't have the right to a fair trial in a lot of places. It's very important. So when they say this stuff like believe all women, what they're really saying is we're using women to give the government and police more power, or judges, whoever the case is, so you don't actually have human rights and you don't have American rights. Now we're going to use women to push an agenda of anything. If you believe all, what does that even mean? Certain women disagree every day. I would say quite often, if you have two eyes or you're a woman, they're like, yeah, I'm always fighting with other women. Yeah, we get it. Men fight, women fight. Believe all women is a ridiculous, illogical, insane statement that they tried to use. And now it's like, well, he can't be questioned because Trump supporters are really bad. And they're still trying to flip it. They're like, well, it's so bad that he had to stage this. That shows how bad America is. It's like, get a grip already, guys, because you're shifting towards evil. And a lot of us, of every race, religion, and gender, we're starting to notice, and we're like, you know what? It's not about race. It's not about religion. It's not about gender. It's about common sense. It's about the truth. It's about the common good. It's about protecting the sanctity of our country. You could say America was never great, and I would agree that we have a long way to go and we've made a lot of mistakes, but there are things that make our country great that other countries wish they did have, and you'll find out the hard way. If you think America's so bad, it's the easiest, greatest time to ever be a gay black actor. Like, this is the best time ever. Literally everyone rolls out the red carpet for you and bends over backwards, and the fact that he took that privilege that he had and that very privileged lifestyle and staged a hate hoax to try to start a political war against Trump, this is not new. There's nothing new about this. They've been doing this every single day for 2 years. Every day. Washington Post, New York Times, Twitter featured news section, Google's featured news section. You know, they're rigging algorithms because it doesn't go the way they want it to go. Huffington Post, Salon, every single celebrity besides Kanye West sometimes, and then he's like a groundhog. He goes back into hiding for 3 months because you guys scare him away. Everybody's lying. Like, I don't know any other way to tell it. This is not the first hoax. Their whole narrative is a hoax. Trump isn't racist. He's not sexist. He's not xenophobic. He loves America. He is doing things that he thinks are beneficial. He's stopping wars. He's stopping drug crisis and immigration crisis and, you know, a lot of things that no one really wants to talk about, a lot of controversial things, because we're such a weak, pathetic society, because we've brainwashed our kids to not do what Martin Luther King said he wanted to do, which was don't judge somebody by their skin color. Judge them by the content of their character. Don't judge somebody by their political affiliation or party. Judge them by the content of their argument. I obviously lean a little bit more libertarian, or a lot a bit more, but sometimes right-wingers are totally wrong, and sometimes, like, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is right. Not often, but when it does, I'm not going to lie to myself and be like, no, she's a woman and I only like men. Like, that's what they're starting to do. They hate people because they like Trump. They hate people because they're conservative. They hate people because they're white. They hate people because they're men. They hate people because of their age. They're like old white men. Like, do you want to get older and be treated with disrespect? You're supposed to respect your elders. Like, I don't get it. There's not a second in my life that I really ever think about that stuff. It's just like, are they telling the truth? Does it make sense? And I get heat from the right wing. They're like, anomaly, how dare you listen to that person? I'm like, they're telling the truth. I'm sorry that you don't want them to be telling the truth right now, but they are. And you have no, like, it's like anytime somebody doesn't like someone, like, ugh, racist, sexist, bigot. And it's like, stop. So Jussie Smollett, according to CNN and others, charged with a felony. It's a big crime. I mean, I don't know how they quantify this, and I'm not trying to bring somebody or kick somebody when they're down, but a lot of us are tired of constant media barrages. This is the only one that they caught. This is not the first staged event. This is not the first media hoax, not even close. It's every day. Every narrative, every opinion piece, every report, the entire MSNBC and CNN, for 2 years, they said Russia collusion. Trump worked with Russia. It's about to come out in a week. After 2 years, they literally tracked all this stuff. They chased people down. They looked 10 years. They raided houses. They raided offices. They found nothing because it never happened. And that's a huge conspiracy theory that the media lied about for 2 years. Think about how big of a crime that is, to be honest. I mean, you're talking about a crime that affects 320 million people in our country and others every day. The mental abuse that is, the financial abuse on our taxpayer dollars, the, you know, in some cases, law abuse. They tried to use the Mueller thing to pervert the law into saying, like, no, you're not innocent until proven guilty. You don't have the right to a fair trial. We have the right to search and look for anything at any time. That's what they do. And then they're like, oh no, it's for Trump. Everyone's like, Trump, believe all women, raid people's houses and steal all their stuff. No, those are your amendments slipping away. Those are totalitarian, authoritarian, regime change people who have no problem going into other countries and completely crushing the people there. They're trying to do it here. And we're not allowing it. It's deeper than Trump. It's deeper than Jussie Smollett. This is not the first time they lied. This is not the first time that the media has misrepresented the celebrities. They do it every single day in unison, like little propagandists and little liars and little, virtue signalers. I am wearing all white and I'm such a good person. Look at me in Congress. I'm wearing colors and I must be honest because it's put your eyes on me. I'm standing up for people because of the color of my clothes. It doesn't mean anything. Listen for arguments. Listen for reason. Listen for common sense. Listen for consideration. And I'm not saying that it's one-sided or the other. But man, oh man, Donald Trump's not even really right-wing. He's like a liberal conservative who just really likes America. And he's like running around the world trying to make everybody like not hate gay people. Even that's a little too much for me. I'm like, dude, relax. Like, let's keep it here. But it's like, he should be the LGBT hero. They're like, yes, Donald Trump. Yes, go to Iran. I'm like, dude, relax. Like, let's take care of our own stuff before we preach our method here, everywhere else. But this should be an eye-opener, and I think it was. Sorry, I did a 2.5-hour live stream earlier, and I'm just tired, man. But I'm also not that tired. I'm going to eat after, drink some soup. Overall, he's getting charged with a felony. His 2 Nigerian friends, or not friends, whoever they were caught on camera now. There's camera footage of them buying a red hat and a ski mask, because nothing says I didn't stage an event like putting a hat over a ski mask. Why did he do this? I mean, they should get down to the core of it, but a lot of people, before I move on, a lot of people are naive, or they lie to themselves, where it's like, how could someone do this? I agree that, like, we all make mistakes, little ones, hopefully, but there are really bad people out there, like ISIS, who the media now loves. The media's like, oh, ISIS, oh, she's just an ISIS woman. They're making ISIS look like the victims. The media is extremely evil to an extent that people don't realize. How could they do this? They've started wars, and there's slavery in those countries now, and they never talk about it because they don't care and they don't want you to know. They started a refugee crisis. They literally marched into multiple countries. Some just completely displaced. Some paid people to displace. Some, they have no standard or morals, and they're not going to just tell you because it wouldn't be popular because most people aren't that bad. So they use women and children and Jussie and others to stage a bunch of hoaxes and lies and pictures taken out of context and words taken out of context and isms so you have no brain, where it's like, I'm offended by everything. I don't care. Give me the raw truth. Like, people are like, you want him to say that about white people? Absolutely, yeah. What do you think? I want a black leader to stand up on a pedestal and say, everything's racist, everything's sexist, everything's xenophobic. White people are amazing and could never do wrong. I don't mean to offend. No, I don't want a black leader to say that. I want them to critique white people and the Jewish community and the Christian community and the Muslim community and all of our races and religions of the world. And I want them to have self-accountability and say, you know what? You can do better, but I could do better too. And we can do better. And like, that's what I want. I don't want to, I'm so much better than everyone because I'm wearing a suit on CNN and I have all white sitting in Congress, so I must be right. And then, like, get to the point. I don't want the lies. I don't want the sugarcoat. I want the blunt, raw truth from everyone. Not just from Trump, not just from the media, from everyone. So Jussie Smollett started something he couldn't finish and opened up a whole wormhole of, could someone really lie to us? Your whole life is probably a lie. If that surprised you, just wait till you get into the media and what they've been doing the past 10 years. Wait till you get into the wars. Wait till you get into the two-party system. Wait till you get into the monetary system and how it's a system of debt and fiat currency. Wait until you get into pretty much everything, from religion to the moon to other things. It's like, it's not adding up. And if this surprises you, you just pop down a rabbit hole that you're never going to leave. Have fun. It's like the Matrix. You take the red pill, you're never the same, but it's for the better. Next story I want to talk about real quick, and then I'm going to take off. Thank you guys for supporting and staying. If you don't do anything, sign up to my free email list. I'm just going to say this for like 30 seconds, then I'll tell my second story. My free email list is pinned to the top. I barely ever send out emails. It's just like, so I have, in case I do something or something happens, so please do that. Check out my YouTube channel. I've been doing live streams with other people. Make America Debate Again. That's my podcast.